So while we're waiting, just a couple things I want to mention to you while we're kind of getting this stuff here together. Sometimes I get very passionate about what we talk about. I talk a little bit too fast. If you find that that's the case, just tell me to slow down. If I'm talking in words other than
So while
your
we're
way,
waiting, just a couple things I want to
yeah,
mention to you while we're kind of getting this stuff here together. Sometimes I get very passionate about what we talk about. I talk a
I'm
little bit
getting the
too fast.
feedback here.
If you find that that's the case, just tell me to slow down. If I'm
Okay, hold
talking
on a
in
second. Yeah, I got.
words other
So
than
while
your
we're
way.
waiting, just a couple things I want to
Okay.
mention to you while we're kind of getting this
Bear
stuff here
with me,
together.
folks. Bear with me here. Sometimes I get very passionate about what we talk about. I talk a
I'm
little bit
getting the
too fast.
feedback.
Okay, there. I was getting double speak here. So was looping around into the YouTube live stream and was coming back, repeating itself. Anyway, all right, we're streaming live as always. And yeah, so I was saying here that if I talk about anything technical you don't understand, don't worry about it right now. You're not going to lose anything. All right, this is for all the new people out there. And yeah, good to have you here. All right, let's get started, folks. All right, let's get started. Where's that button? Here we go. Okay. All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to DayTradeSPY.com's Week in Review. And my name is Hugh, and there's my dog, Lucy. Yes, I miss her terribly. She's a Bernese Mountain Dog. I had a question already about that. She is a Bernese Mountain Dog. Lived to be 12 and a half years old before we had to put her down, folks. She became very, very ill. Her heart never gave in. Her heart is still beating, I'm sure, somewhere in doggy heaven. But I'll tell you, her legs gave out, and anyway, she had a lot of problems at the end. So, but anyway, thanks for asking for that, Michael. Okay, 92 sunny in Las Vegas. It's always sunny at 92 in Las Vegas, well. Okay, we were there a few months ago at a trade show, and that was actually pretty good. Lots of fun there. So it is Sunday, May the 25th. And use the questions box, please. You'll find a little icon on your Zoom dashboard. I am the only one that sees that, so go ahead and say whatever you want. So I'm trying to answer all your questions here. And I don't want to keep you much longer than an hour, okay? Because it is a holiday weekend, and I'm sure you've got other things to do. And I know a lot of people have family and friends over, and they've got the barbecue cooking and stuff. Anyway, I think that's kind of the official opening to summer, right? Folks, got to keep the lawyers happy. Not really sure why, but they have to eat too, apparently. So by attending this webinar, you fully understand and accept the financial risks involved in trading securities. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be quiet, give you a few seconds so you can read this on your own. I'll get back to you in about 10 seconds here. Okay. All right. You alone responsible for all your own trading and past performance does not guarantee future results. Okay. So let's move on. I think you know that. Coming up, we've got here details of our upcoming Everything We Do training course. Don't go too far. We're going to talk about that near the end of the session here. Um, how many of you got onto our one of our three webinars we did last week? Let me know in the chat in the questions box. Just curious to see. All right, so there I is, live in the living color behind you, live scene here. I don't know if you can see it overlooking beautiful Lake Erie, but anyway, tonight we're going to discuss last week in review. We're going to take a poll. We always take polls. The upcoming week, talk about that. I'm going to do a little 2-minute tutorial Q&A session. I'm going to talk about the upcoming masterclass live training course that we've got ready here for you. Okay, we'll talk a little bit about that. And okay, let's see what else got. We all need a Lucy. Yes, Brian, I know. Mr. Terribly. I miss her terribly, believe it or not. And I never thought you don't think you do, but you do. Like, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with me. I'm attached to a dog. She's family, folks. All right, so who am I? Why listen to me? Why me anyway? Why me? Why me? Why listen to me? I'll tell you why you should listen to me. I've been there, done that. Okay, been on the block and done all that wonderful stuff here. I my hair's such a mess. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get this cut here this weekend. Okay, gonna get it. Next time you see me, I'm gonna have my hair shorter. It's a little disheveled here. Anyway, early on in the years when I learned how to do this, the whole thing started by accident. I'm not even supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be retired, sitting on a sunny beach down in Tahiti or somewhere, drinking drinking fruity drinks with little umbrellas in them, served by beautiful ladies in Polynesia or something. Um, no, actually. Uh, what happened was my old financial advisor blew out half my account. And I said, I got to learn how to do this. My kids, they're not going to be uneducated. And remember those little matchbook covers? I'll never forget it. I used to find these all over. You see them all over. It always said, "Move up, be an accountant. Move up, be a bookkeeper. Be a car repair guy, a mechanic. Be a this, be a that." And then you open it up, and it had, I think it was, yeah, all these little boxes you can tick off and get information as to what you wanted. What was it called? International Correspondence School. Are they still around at all? I don't know, but. I thought, you know what, my kids are never going to end up like that. They're going to get an education, and if it kills me, if I have to take 4 or 5 jobs, I'm going to get the money for them, and I'm gonna, I'm not going to give my money to my financial advisor anymore. They don't care. At least this guy didn't anyway. So maybe even if he did, whatever. Maybe it was the sign of the times. Too much water under the bridge on that to worry about it. I seized control, learned how to do this myself, picked up a few good, cool strategies, and I ended up making some money. And then people coerced me to put it online as to what I was doing. So I did. Long story short, that was actually a little over 15 years ago. 15 years ago. And honestly, I never thought we'd last. I figured I'd give it a couple of weeks, maybe a month, maybe 2 months tops. It'll fizzle out. No big deal. Before I knew it, people were telling their friends and relatives, and we had a slew of people online before we knew it. And people were starting to throw money at me to teach them how to trade options. I thought, oh my gosh, seriously? Hmm. Is options trading really that popular? It apparently is. Apparently. So I kind of misjudged that one. Anyway, I'm looking for short-term breakout trades. All right. I don't do any spreads, no naked trading at all. I used to do all that stuff before. Not anymore. People get all excited if they made 5% a month. Oh my gosh. I said, wow, I don't know, man. I don't get excited unless I make 5% a day. I don't get out of bed for that. Anyway, real deal, folks. All right. Teach what I trade, trade what I teach. Been teaching people internationally now since 2010. We're in our 16th year doing this. And then a couple of years ago, we got bought out. Public company. All right, public company, Eagle Financial Products, subsidiary of Salem Media Group. And they brought on, eventually they kind of did a full circle here, brought John Johnson on. And John is a veteran Eagle guru. For many years, he had the newsletters and different things, and then he retired. They brought him out of retirement, brought him into the trading room, and said, "Okay, come on in." Anyway, John comes with a lot of education, a lot of experience. Just a nice guy. He's a lawyer. Don't hold that against him, but he's I write him all the time. Commercial litigation, specializing in the oil and gas industry. Okay, he no longer practices law. He's a full-time trader. This is what he does what he does here. Trades. Okay, and he's been teaching people for over 21 years, I think about 22 years or so now. Highly acclaimed. He's been quoted in many publications, a lot of media, and he's helped thousands of people gain success in the markets. His philosophy is basically take what the market gives you, and his definition of success is being able to do what you want when you want with whomever you want. It's just that's pretty much my definition too. Being able to do whatever you want to do when you want to do it with the people you want to do it and you want to have fun doing it. If you're not having fun in life, what's the point of it, right? Living is to be lived, not, you don't want to be a slave to something, especially a job. You know what job stands for? It's an acronym. It means just over broke. Anyway, we all started doing this thing together and we're having a lot of fun with it. And I'm gonna tell you, we expand on different things. We issue a newsletter that goes out every Thursday, and it's a free newsletter, brief 3-minute read, light, relevant, entertaining. All you have to do to subscribe to it is go to our website, daytradespy.com, and when the little pop-up comes up, just leave us your email address. This week's topic: why day trading spy options work so well. Why day trading spy options work so well. And it does. And it doesn't matter if the market's going up or down. Volatility is good. Um, we've seen all kinds of markets.
And over the years, we've seen all kinds of markets, but you know what? We can get in there, we can make some money every day, just a little bit of money every day. Believe me, it adds up. So you want to get in on this one here. Now, if you don't want to subscribe, but you still want to check out the newsletters, go to our website, daytradespy.com, and up at the top left, you'll see a little link to our newsletters. So you can go to go to that link and download all the newsletters that we had written. So, excuse me for about 2 seconds here. I just had to close the door here. It's getting a little chilly here tonight. You know, when the sun starts going down, things just cool down pretty quick. Another thing I want to mention to you folks, Friday, June the 13th, John and I are going to be hosting a paid live trading breakfast as we head over to the Freedom Fest. Yes, Freedom Fest at the Oasis of Liberty, Palm Springs. We're going to be going down there in a couple of weeks, I guess, right? 2, 3 weeks we're going to be down there. And beautiful Palm Springs, California, all right? Check out the action down there and looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. The Ultimate Liberty Community Experience packaged as an annual summer event hosting 30,000 plus attendees since 2007. We're going to be down there. So, all right. You know what? I think with the sun shining behind me, what I'm going to have to do is close the blinds. And this way, I think you'll be able to see me easier because the sun goes down pretty quick around here. All right. I don't know. I don't know. Is that any better? That might not be the good word. Is that any? I guess you can see me a little bit easier that way. Okay. All right. So here's what the market did this last week, folks. Pretty bouncy and ups and downs. Let's take a look here. On Monday, it was a low, no news day. SPY rebounded after digesting the U.S. credit rating news. Moody's rating. You guys in the U.S., you're not worth a triple A rating. We're going to downgrade you, double A. That's all you are, double A. So you're right on par now with New Zealand. And who else is double A? Let me just see. Who else is double A rating here. Let me take a look here. Let's see. Countries, double A rating, Moody's. Let's take a look. Who are we in the company of? Um, Excuse me here. Double A ratings, very low risk of default, not the absolute lowest risk, however, not as good as triple A. Um, double A. Okay, let's take a look here. Credit rating. All right, here we go. All right, so excuse me, triple A ratings. Triple A ratings are Australia, Canada, Denmark, Germany, Liechtenstein, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Switzerland, Norway, and Sweden. Double A, which is what we're part of here, is European Union. Oh, by the way, Singapore is also triple A. We're double A plus. Sorry, we're double A plus, along with Austria, Finland, New Zealand, Taiwan, Hong Kong. These are all double A plus, and we are double A plus. Okay. So I'm just going down the ratings list here. Who's the worst? Well, let's see. Take a look here. How bad does it get? I don't know. Nepal, Grenada, Puerto Rico, Lebanon. I don't know what D stands for. Anyway, anyway, the market did not like that. Why? Because our interest rates are going to be, well, our credit worthiness is not as good as it was, not as good as it should be. So the market actually tanked on Friday on that one. But on Monday, we got a pretty good rebound, pushing up off major support at the mid 586 level. Actually, we hit a new high there, 596.05. Not a new high, but sort of the high of recent days. And then we fell for the first time in 7 days on Tuesday here, led mostly by the mega cap Mag 7 stocks. Probably a lot of profit taking, I think, more than anything else here. On Wednesday, President Trump's one big beautiful bill. That's what we had there. One big beautiful bill, um, adding trillions of dollars to the deficit to raise bond yields, plunging SPY another 10 points. The market does not like that. Okay, does not like deficits. And even though they said it's $3 trillion deficits increased by 3 million over the next 10 years, it's going to be a lot more than that because that 3 trillion does not include the interest on the 3 trillion, the additional interest. And I don't know, am I the only one that seems to be bothered by this? Right now, I believe we're paying something like $1 trillion a month in interest payments, folks. It's not bode, does bode well, does not bode well with for our kids and grandkids and their kids and grandkids and stuff. Somebody's got to pay for this. Anyway, it looks like it's just a never-ending cycle getting on this treadmill. We'll just keep borrowing money, borrowing from future generations. All right. SPY closed flat after the market stabilized after a sell-off. This is on Thursday. Investors caught their breath on bond yields. The retreat there just took a little bit of a breather. And then on Friday, well, the tariff news came back as President Trump, I guess he took notice of that and said, "Oh, wait a second, back to the tariffs. Back, we got to impose 50% on the EU, European Union, and at least 25% on Apple. He's going after Tim Cook." He said, "What? What? No, 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 no. We want the iPhone made in the U.S. We want the iPhone made in the U.S. Except there's a little problem with that. I think there's a whole bunch of countries that add to the parts that make up an iPhone, and we don't have the labor to put the iPhone together in the U.S. and nor the. So I don't know. I'm hearing all kinds of weird estimates. It's going to cost many, 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 many thousands of dollars for an iPhone, if that were to even happen, and it's impossible. It's impossible to make the iPhone in the U.S. All right. Anyway, we found support. We dropped another 10 points before finding major support to retrace back to the 579 level before it was all over. That's kind of how the week ended. All right. It was actually a negative week. So here's looking at it from a seasonal standpoint. And that blue line up there is the current SPY price. The red line is the average of the last 5 years daily closing price. As we zoom in, historically, SPY rose 3 points from last week, and it also rose about 6 points, 6 points the following week. Okay, so if the trend continues this week, we should see move back up. But of course, there's no telling what that trend is going to do with all the news and whatnot that comes out, right, on the market. So we're gonna wait and see. All right, so let's move along here. Last week, what happened? Moody's downgraded us, downgraded the U.S. government credit. Focuses on the debt burden. Well, so we had the House passed a new tax and spend bill to feed into the current deficit concerns, raising the debt by trillions. As I mentioned here, they narrowly passed that one big beautiful bill. Raised bond yields, tanked equities as the new tax bill extended tax cuts and included new ones too. Now it's moving to the Senate for debate. Possible revisions and approval, and it's adding a ton of more money to the deficit. I don't know what the argument is there about how do they think that this is a good thing. I don't know, but maybe the argument, I guess, is, well, we're going to inspire more business, and they're going to be just want to be more tax to pay, and it's going to come down that way. That's kind of what the narrative is on that. Fresh tariff threats reminded investors that the trade developments are still in the driver's seat as the EU hit with the 50% tariffs and Tim Cook, oh, sorry, Apple. You like that? Nice to have that much power, isn't it? Threatened with at least 25, that's what he said, at least 25% tariffs if the iPhone is not made in the United States. Wow, pretty cool. Peak uncertainty with tariffs may be behind us, however, as negotiations kick in a higher gear. At least that's what the analysts are saying. So, was it an empty threat? We'll see. Anyway, there it is right there. Peak uncertainty. Okay. There's still a lot of uncertainty out there, and I think that uncertainty is going to continue for some time yet. 4 years, some people say. We'll see. Here's a chart of the federal interest costs approaching historic highs as a share of gross domestic product. We're right up there, folks, right up there. Was it 1992, 91, 92, somewhere in there? I think we're going to go higher if this continues on. Now, we'll see if this passes the Senate and stuff, but it doesn't matter. The interest rates, the costs to existing government debt are becoming a very large burden to the budget. They can't ignore this. I don't know why I don't know what again, the reasoning is behind that. You'd think that they'd want to get the debt under control, but I think I don't know. I can't read their mind. You'll have to ask them, the powers that be. But here's what happened this last week. S&P 500 dropped 5.6%. Overall year to date, we're down again, down at minus 1.13. Overall, everything, all the major indices are down. The Dow's down 2.2%, and the Nasdaq is down 3%. So I guess the S&P is not doing all that bad in relation to the others. We'll see what happens this week. Maybe they'll push it back up again. Maybe they'll push it back up. All right, let's have a bit of a poll here, folks. Just curious. I saw a recent poll concerning religion, and now we're not talking about any specific religion or anything, but religion in general in the United States. Uh, they're coming out where they're saying it's decreasingly important for Americans, um, kind of divided over the role in society and some of the numbers. And by the way, they had a lot of different numbers and demographics and different things, but overall, 51% say religion does more good than harm. 29 feel the opposite, and 21% say religion does an equal amount of good and harm. Oddly enough, when I looked at these numbers, they don't quite add up to 100 there. I think add up to about like 101. So must be some rounding in there. But just a quick poll here. Curious to see what your thoughts are. Does religion, and it doesn't matter what religion we're talking about here, could be, anything, whatever. I'm talking about mainstream religions. I'm not talking about, if you're smoking, some funny stuff and call it religion. That's not religion. Okay, you know what I'm saying. All right. Judaism, Christianity, Muslim, Baha'i, Hindu, whatever, whatever in general. Do you think religion does more harm than good? Or more good than harm? Then punch up an A. More harm than good? Then punch up a B. Equal, good and harm? C. And if you don't know, give me a D. Give me a D. Okay. Okay, I'm just pulling up the numbers here. Lots of A's, C's, there's a B, mostly there's a couple B's more, lots of A's. Okay, another B. Many people are killed over religion. That is true, Steve. Unfortunately, isn't that unbelievable? Isn't that like really unbelievable? I'm going to kill you in the name of God if you don't subscribe to oh my Lord. That's right. I don't think that's the way it was meant. Uh, D, some A's, D's. There's another B in there. Interesting. Okay. All right. One God, one God. Okay. All right, let's go. Okay, that's good. We got a whole bunch. I can't read all the comments here. We got way too many. All right, good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. All right, good mix. Yeah, I mean, I think, I think we're, you know, really, I mean, I'm not going to get into all this, but I think it's obviously keeping mankind, on the straight and narrow. If you subscribe to a mainstream religion, I don't know of any religion that is bad. It's like you know, anyway, I think it does more harm than or more good than harm, and I don't know. The people that are saying here in the comments that more harm than good, they're talking about how religion is a cause of discourse between people and how people are killing each other over religion, and that's not good. So week ahead, folks. Monday markets are closed tomorrow. Memorial Day, durable goods orders, conference board consumer conference on Tuesday. Wednesday, we've got the Richmond Manufacturing Index and the FOMC meeting minutes. Now, the meeting has already happened. This is where the minutes come out, and they just, regurgitate what they talked about and why they voted the way they did, and they just sort of talk about that, sort of reiterate a lot of that. Thursday, we've got unemployment claims, pending home sales, GDP reports, and on Friday, the big inflation indicator, personal consumption expenditures, This is what the Feds look at mostly. Also, we've got some personal income and spending numbers, Chicago PMI, University of Michigan consumer sentiment, and inflation expectations. What does this all mean for volatility? Obviously, nothing on Monday, medium on Tuesday and Wednesday, and high on Thursday and Friday. So watch for some craziness, especially on Friday. And don't forget, of course, whenever President Trump speaks, expect elevated volatility. Expect elevated volatility. All right. Okay. All right. 2 minute tutorial. Man, we're just flying through here, right? Okay, flying through here. Okay. When options expire, we always talk about trading options. So let's say you fell asleep at the wheel and when you forgot about your options, and suddenly that day comes, the day of reckoning, your options 4 o'clock, options expire. Oh my gosh, I forgot about those guys. Now what happens? Here's what happens. Um, Options is not a buy and forget it strategy, folks. Don't think of it like you're buying stock. An option, as you know, is a contract. You have certain rights and obligations. And when options expire, the contract ceases to exist. No further trading can occur on the option. That's it. You're done. And as if nothing happened, right? And those options can no longer be exercised. They can't be traded. Nothing. Okay, nothing. So, if your options expire in the money, now, if it's call options in the money, that means the strike price of your option is lower than the market price, right? So you've got some intrinsic value in your option. If that is lower, then you're in the money. Ideally, what you should have done was sold that and taken the profit. That being, as a rule, at options close at the end of the day, just at the end of the point where they expire, your basically your option value should be your intrinsic value. That being between the strike price and the market price of the stock. By that time, you will have no material theta value, no time value. So you should really sell, right? You should really sell. Unless you want the stock. I don't know if anybody wants the stock. Okay. Uh, Having the stock is probably not a good idea, unless you really want the stock. This goes for any stock, by the way. So that's if you expire in the money. Now, for puts, of course, it's the opposite. For puts, that means the option price is higher than the market price of the stock. Okay, so it's flipped up on the put side. So what happens if you are in the money? The option is automatically exercised unless otherwise instructed not to. Now you'll generally get an email from your broker. I can't speak on behalf of all brokers, but I know all the sort of the mainstream brokers will send you an email to say, "Hey, don't forget you're holding some options here. You have to monitor this. Let us know if you're monitoring." Or they'll say, "Click here. Let us know if you're monitoring these things." And if you don't, they have the right, which they often do. They will exercise the options on your behalf. They will either sell them, or if if you don't tell them otherwise, your broker can actually um, deliver. They'll exercise your option. They'll convert your option into stock. They'll deliver. You'll either receive or you'll have to deliver the underlying stock. All right. So the value is charged to your account. Now, if you are, and obviously you're going to have a margin account. So I should probably try and explain this. I don't have any numbers up on the PowerPoint to show you, but I'm just going to follow along here. So let's say um, you have a $10,000 account. There's $10,000 in your trading account, and you are exercised an option I don't know if $10,000 is even enough. Let's say you have one option. I'm just kind of throwing these numbers out. One option that is worth, say, $600. Okay, SPY option. Okay, and you are exercised. Okay, um, so that means I should say differently here. Let's say you have $50,000 in your trading account. Okay, 50,000. Okay. All right. So you have a pretty good chunk of money in your trading account, $50,000. Okay. Let's go with that. 50,000 in your trading account. You're holding an option, um, and the strike price is $600, and you are in the money. So what'll happen there is if if your strike price is $600, they will assign you 100 underlying shares for each option that you are holding. Okay. So that means you're going to be assigned 100 contracts and at the value of the strike price, $600. So you will now be the proud owner of $60,000 worth of options. Now, let's say and you have 50,000 in your account. So let's say your margin rate is 50%. That means they will take 25,000 out of your account and lend you the other 25,000. Sorry, I'm lying about that. 60,000 is what they're taking. They will take 30,000 out of your account and lend you the other 30,000. Okay, because you're into them for $60,000. Even though you have 50,000 in your account, they're not going to take the whole 50. They're only going to take half. So you still have 20,000 in your account. So you're gonna look at that and say, oh, I know something happened, but I still have 20,000 to trade with, and you're gonna feel pretty good about it. But you may not realize that you're actually now indebted to them for $30,000, your broker, and you're gonna be paying interest on that. Okay. So here's where brokers really make their money. They make their money on lending on margin. All right. The commission that you pay for your options is actually secondary income to brokers. The real money comes from lending money on buying stocks and options and different things. Okay, so you got to be careful about that. You don't want to expire where you are now. On the other hand, you've got these shares. So if the share price went up from 600 to 610, well, now you just made $10 a share, right? So it's not like you're worthless or anything like that. Far from it. So, but you want to be careful about that. It just means that your options trading power will decrease substantially. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, if you're out of the money, and this will happen very easily because sometimes we forget about our options and the market goes against us and we don't like to look at them because we're losing and you kind of put in the back of your head and at the last minute it comes back to life and now you end up in the money or something, whatever. But folks, if you are out of the money and your options expire, you don't do something with these things, your options are gonna, there's no intrinsic value. If you hold these things, you have no profit in there. No, there's nothing that they're gonna expire worthless. And you're gonna lose your premium. All the money you put into it, you've lost it. Okay. The premium, the seller got the premium and you got left holding the bag. Okay. That's not a place you want to be either. So if you find that the value of your option is going down, down, down. You don't have any time left for the option to come back to life. You're in a bad spot with these things. You want to get rid of them. You don't want to hold an option into its last moments of expiration because options have this thing called theta loss, and theta loss rises exponentially as it gets closer to expiration. Okay. So you don't want to be out of the money expiration either, unless you don't really care about the premium. Even if you get $100, you might as well take the $100. If you're not going to get any more, at least take the $100, right? After all, it's still something. Now, on the other hand, the argument there is that, well, if they're so worthless, I might as well take the chance to see if they come back to life at the end. And once in a blue moon, they do, but rarely. So that's what happens when you actually trade, right? Trade and you forget about your options and they expire worthless. So don't let your options expire worthless. You have to do something with them. It's not a buy and hold strategy. Unlike shares, right? Shares of an ETF or a stock, you can hold on to them, you own them. You can put them in the will, in your will, so your kids will have them when you're dead. Oh, those Apple shares I bought for $50, don't ever sell them. This kind of stuff, as you're on your deathbed, you tell your kids, uh, on your deathbed, you don't want to say, those calls I got, go sell them. Oh gosh, that's morbid, isn't it? Sorry. Let's take a look at our $50,000 challenge. For those of you who don't know, we started with $5,000 at the early part of this year. I just want to see if maybe I can pull this up. I'm not really sure. We had a lot of activity on this. Let me see if I can find this the whole file on this thing. If I can do this without having to spend a lot of time digging it out, because I can take you through the whole. Let me take a look here through the whole spreadsheet trading plan. Maybe this is it here. Let's take a look and see if this is it here. I'm only showing you the top end here of this. Is this it here? Okay. This is it here. I think this is works. Yeah, okay. So here's what we did. All right, we started with $5,000 capital. I'm not going to go line by line here. I'm going to put you to sleep in no time if I do that. All right, started with $5,000 January the 6th, working with a gentleman. He asked me, he says, is it possible to take $5,000 turn into 50,000? I said, yes, it is. I'll help you with it. Um, he has the ability to trade multiple times during the day. So he has more than 25,000 in his account, so he can go in and out. Basically, what we did was we're starting with $5,000 capital. We're trading $5,000 for 2 months, and we're only looking to make $200 a day. Now, it could be on one or two trades, three trades, whatever. Now, I didn't get in all the detail that I wrote in here as to which options and when we bought, when we sold, and all that wonderful stuff. We're doing this actually in the trading room. And that's where we get into all that nitty-gritty detail. But some days, we didn't trade because, market was closed on that particular day. Other days, made a lot of money, and some days we lost a ton of money. This one here, I should probably put that one in red here. How can I do that? I have to enable editing and then make that red. Yeah, I don't like that. That thing has to be in red here. Where did I go? Oh, okay, make this red. There we go. Um, so what happened was we had some good days, we had some bad days, and some days had some terrible days. Lost $4,800 on that one, 47 on that one. The market just tanked on us, and it was just not looking like it was going to go back. I think it was a lot about talking about tariffs and stuff, but we just keep adding to it. And after 2 months, we raised our target to $240, but we're now trading $6,000 every day, every trade, I should say, whatever. It doesn't matter, but up to $6,000. So we're making $240 a day. Take a look at this day. Whoa, this one really just about wiped us out here. We went down in negatives here, 14,000 down, another 5,000 here. But we're slowly in this column here, this column right here, this budget variance. This is where I figure we should be with our profit target, where we should be. Okay, so yeah, we had some real. We had a real low here, about what, 19,000, 19, 20,000, 16, about 19,000 here back. That was a bad day. That was a bad day there, folks. But we stuck to our guns, got back to basics, and we had some really good days. Here's the day we made over $5,400. So we're slowly climbing out of the soup. We're actually at the little over halfway mark, right? We're at $25,862. And so when you see in this column here, 340 plus 1210. So we did two trades there. The one trade we did made $340. The next trade we made $1,210, right? So I added those together, so we're up 1550 for the day. That's, by the way, net of commissions. We're considering commissions as if we're trading tasty trade, where your commission is $1 a contract to open a trade, open a position, zero to close a position, up to a maximum of $10 a trade. And on Friday we did $670, and so we're really only a couple of thousand, $2,200 under where we should be. So I hope to wipe that out this coming week as we edge our way up. Now, I'm thinking here, we're not going to stop at the 50,000. We're going to keep going. And now this is in 1 year. Actually, to the end of the year, well, we should probably hit about 80, 90,000, maybe even $100,000 if all goes well. We don't mess things up. Okay. So that's kind of where that is. And that's really what that's all about. Anyhow, that's that. And let me see here. I gotta remove this and save this file. Save file. Okay. So this is just the sort of the latest few days that we had done here, and that's kind of where we are. We're still now we're trading $7,000. Okay, we're going to be doing that, I think, to the end of June, right? End of June, $7,000, and then we're going to go to what 75? No, we're doing after 7,000, we're doing $8,000. $8,000. Then we're going to be looking for $320 a day. And there's a chart right there. That blue line is our budget, where we should be going, and the red line is the actual. So we're getting caught up to our budget right there. So I know sometimes I don't actually update that as quickly as I should, but that's that. So, all right, let's move along now. Imagine yourself, folks, in control of your financial future. Imagine financial security. Imagine not having to go to a job every day. And by the way, I have people that are working in some pretty impressive fields. All right, medical fields, law, accounting. These are career jobs, and they're looking to a lot of. I know some people who are actually looking to shift away from that, take early retirement, just trade. Some people have done that, and I hear the question, "Well, what about the recession?" I say, "What about it? Who cares? We can make money going both up and down." And with our strategies, we actually do make money going both up and down. Call up, put down, right? And the objective is to determine the propensity of the market direction. Get in that, make a little bit of money, do it again, do it again, do it again, right? Um, and again, I like to make money in the mornings and then go and do other things in the afternoon. Um, Imagine not being beholden to a boss or anything else. Even if you have a business, oh my Lord, bricks and mortar business these days. Whew, I don't think I can imagine anything worse. Imagine having a restaurant. You know, have you guys eaten out lately? Oh my goodness. I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. But there are a lot of people who are not doing okay. And you go to a restaurant these days and dinner for two, it's not uncommon to pay, 50, 60, $80, even $100 for dinner for two. And I'm thinking to myself, who can afford this? It used to be dinner for two was like 30 bucks, 40 bucks. Anyway, being in business is a real challenge these days. You got everything against you. You got to spend a lot of money. I'm not trying to talk you out of anything here, but I'm just saying it's just a very expensive thing to do and very risky. You've got everything against you. With trading options on SPY, you don't get that. You don't have a clock. You don't have any obligations. You can have all the material things you want, being able to help others, your kids, family, philanthropy if you want to do that. Um, and I keep going back to John Johnson's saying here, being able to do what you want when you want. And I 100% agree with him. That is the definition of success. So, certain times of your life, you're going to have different priorities. When you're younger, right? Might take some more risks, higher risks, because you've got a lifetime to fix them, right? A certain age, you want to, you got those earning years, right, where you have to earn income. Get your, your earning power is there, right? Buy the house, buy the things, put the kids through school, doing all that stuff. And then later in life, I think it's a matter of capital preservation. You know, Later in your life, why would you go on risk and try something so incredibly new, like a new business or something that you stand to lose a lot of money. Whereas with trading options, you're kind of, there's risk, definitely there's risk, but you can manage it and you can make a lot of money. That's why I like trading options. It has everything that I need. So right now, a lot of people have been asking about training. Well, you guys always tell us this and you tell us that, but can you actually teach us what to do? And the answer is absolutely yes. So we are giving you a Day Trade Spy masterclass that is coming up. And the powers that be had
determined that this is a good way that they're going to do it now, to try and have it as less disruptive in your life as possible. They're going to stretch it out over a period of 3 months. Okay. So we're going to have 8 online weekly classes. And there's a little typo there. I got to go to that space. Okay. 8 weekly classes. They're going to be at Tuesdays at noon Eastern time, unless otherwise changed. Okay. But that's kind of the schedule right now. We're also going to have four labs where you're going to review things. It's going to be interactive and learn and earn. All right. So these are going to be, very hands-on. We're going to teach you. We're only going to teach you what we do ourselves to make money on the stock market. We teach what we trade, and we trade what we teach. Okay. If you're looking for a textbook, you know, lessons on the whole stock market and everything out there, all right, there are lots of places to go for that, and we're not going to be doing that. We are not going to be talking about futures. We're not going to be talking about, crypto or any of that other stuff. We're only going to be teaching you what we do ourselves every single day to make money on the stock market, whether the market is going up or down, excuse me, or even sideways. We had a day the other day, I think the market closed something like 37 cents from its open. And I heard people say, well, the market didn't move today. Well, actually, it moved enough for us to make some pretty decent money, both going up and down. You see, markets don't stay in a straight, flat line. As you know, they go up, they go down, they go up and down all day long, right? Sometimes like a real roller coaster. You get on this little roller coaster. Oh my gosh, picked up a dime here, 20 cents there, another 10 cents there, 12 cents there. At the end of the day, you're walking away with about, 80, 90 cents. Um, for options, that's pretty good, right? So we're going to have these review sessions, and the idea here is to teach you everything we do, okay? We are going to go through all the points, and anything you don't understand, you don't get into the labs, and do not be shy about asking questions, because chances are if you have a question, there's 100 people behind you that would also like to know the answers to that, right? So these sessions are also going to be recorded for later review. You're going to have access to these now. If you are not able to make the live sessions, don't worry about it, because there's going to be recordings. So I highly encourage you to join in on that anyway. You've got the recordings. I'm not sure how long they're going to be available for, but I'm going to make sure they're available for enough time anyway that you should be able to go back and learn how to do this, right? That's kind of the objective with this. Learn everything John and I do to make some very serious money on the stock market. All right, so what are they going to get? This is what they wrote up here. Options 101, the trader's blueprint. I'm going to be point blank with you. If you already know options, you can skip this one. It's going to be a very, very basic. But anybody who's new to options, you'll want to get it on this one here. We talk about options, what they are, the risks, the benefits, like all about options. Okay, and again, if you are already an options trader, you can skip that one. But this one here, starting here, everybody needs to know this stuff. Technical analysis, fundamental analysis. We're going to get into the scalping framework. These are going to be all individual webinar sessions. Okay. We're going to teach our bread and butter strategy. This is the setup that we look at every day. We're also going to look at the OMG trade. Going to take a deep dive in that. And John's going to talk about the Fibonacci and market life cycle. He's going to have sessions on this. We're also going to talk about repairing trades gone wrong, and again, give you the trader's plan, which is a log and all of that. We're going to do the whole planning here for you, so you can plan not just the trades, but plan your trading career. Just like I showed you a few minutes ago with that, taking $5,000 and turning into $50,000. Yeah, it's doable, and we're doing it along with this. The gentleman's doing it along with us here. Not sure where he is with it. I understand he's doing quite well with it. And we do that live in the trading room every morning. All right, we do that live in the trading room. So it's okay. Here's what we're going to do. Here's the setup. I'm going to buy 10 options on this, and here's why. Bang, bang, bang. The whole narrative is right there. So you start adding to your pot, right? Time's going to go by anyway. You might as well make money. Excuse me. Time is going to go by anyway. You might as well make money, along the way, right? So this is the whole. This is the
the framework of the sessions that we're going to have. And again, in addition to that, we're going to have four labs. Now, these labs are going to be spread out. So it's going to be something like we're going to have two sessions in a lab, two sessions in a lab, two sessions in a lab, like that. Okay. And that's going to be a really good mix of how you're going to come into mastering how to day trade SPY options. I know a lot of people were asking stuff. We kept promising and promising, and I think it's going to be pretty good. Each training and lab session, they say I wanted 2 hours, but the truth is, I'm pretty confident some of the stuff might actually go a little more than 2 hours. We're going to see if we can keep it down to 2 hours. We're definitely going to be, you know, aiming to that. But so it's going to be a lot of good, solid information coming at you. And so what I recommend there is if you're in this, simply pay attention first. Don't take notes other than not, note the times on the webinars that you might want to go back to and revisit. So if you see something interesting at 8 minutes after the hour, write down, 12:08. Okay. If it starts at noon, 12:08. And then maybe what it's about. Oh, 12:08, he's going to talk about this or that. Oh, another one at 12:20. Okay, write that down. 12:20, go back to 12:20. Another one at 12:28, like that. Okay. So write down those. And then you can always go back in the recording because you can pause, rewind, fast forward, all that stuff with the recording, right? And that's really pretty good. So, all right, get your questions answered. And finally, master day trading options on SPY. So you can do this yourself. And that's the whole objective. All right. We want to make it so that, hey, listen, if I get hit by a bus tomorrow, or a truck or something, um, I want you to still be able to carry on without me. And same with John. Okay. We're not going anywhere, at least not the plan. God willing, and we able, we're going to continue doing this until my last breath is taken. But right now, I want to make sure you guys understand this and you get to learn this. So there is a cost to this. I got to tell you, I'll be pretty frank with you, the cost of this, the value of this is a lot more than what you're going to be paying. And this is a very special price. We were able to, well, we had some discussions. We'll call them discussions on the price. This is the bottom line price, 19.95. This is not a come on or 3 monthly installments of 6.99. Okay. I'm just telling you this so that you can actually get ready for it and actually take this to the bank, right? Take this to the bank. You got to center this. There we go. All right. This is actually an excellent price for what you're getting. I am not kidding you. Now, so what we got coming up here is going to be the complete details, including the bonus package, which I didn't even talk about now. There's going to be bonuses, I think, if you sign up on Tuesday, between now and Tuesday. All right. So between now and Tuesday, if you sign up, you're going to get a whole bunch of bonuses that are pretty cool, including some merchandise. I'm not really sure. But anyway, uh, now in the chat box, you're going to find a little chat box icon on your Zoom dashboard. If you click on that, I gave you the link. Now, don't get mad, but this is going to be a GoToWebinar. A third-party company set this up, and for whatever reason, they are using GoToWebinar. But I assure you, the courses are all going to be on Zoom. All right, they're all going to be on Zoom. But this particular webinar, as we had earlier this week or last week, I guess it would have been now, and the one coming up on Tuesday is a GoToWebinar. And click on that, register, and come online because we are going to do that. It's called our first hour formula. That webinar is going to be on 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Tuesday night, May the 27th. We did this an evening webinar because I think some of you may be working or whatever, and we figured, well, if you couldn't get to the what is it, the 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock webinar we had the other day, get to the evening webinar, you might be able to come on with this and again, register with the link in the chat box. Okay, register with the link in the chat box. And I mean that's kind of the way to do it. So, all right. So what we're gonna do now is, oh yeah, and I remember seeing this saying, and I thought, you know what, this is so cool. I got to get this up here. If it's meant to be, it's up to me. We can only bring you to the water, right? But it's up to you to drink. Or is that the horse? I guess, yeah, you can lead the horse to the water, but yeah, the horse has to do the drinking, right? I can't turn your, twist your arms any more than that. We're giving you an offer that is actually um, unbelievable and irresistible, I think. Now, I don't have to tell you how easy it is to lose a couple $1,000s in the stock market. But when you have all this information that we have in our heads, that we use ourselves every day, that we've been using ourselves for many, many, many years, and we're divulging this information to you, this education, I think you'd be foolish not to take advantage of it. Okay. I don't have to tell you what an education costs. If you're to go to college and spend 3, 4, 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is in college per year, it's many, many thousands of dollars. I went to a graduation a couple weeks ago, and I'm thinking to myself, these poor kids, they spent 4 years in college here, many, many, many thousands of dollars. They got all their awards, their ribbons, their this, their that, and they get a degree. And most of these kids are going to go looking for a job, and they're going to find the harsh reality they have to apply along with thousands of other people for those 2 or 3 jobs. If they're lucky enough to get an interview, they're going to get the interview, right? And if they're even luckier, they're going to get hired. They're going to start at the bottom. Okay, well, let me say I take my coffee black and I want it at 9:30. And oh my gosh, can you imagine that? They're going to be disillusioned. A lot of these kids think they're going to get like $100,000 jobs as soon as they graduate. That's not the reality. Um, Now, maybe in Trump's world it will be. Maybe he's going to bring back so many jobs that it'll happen. But I don't think in the short term. But folks, again, with all that money you could spend on a college education, and you still have to start at the bottom. However, spend $2,000 with an education on how to make money day trading SPY options. Very laser beam focused, and that's how we do it. We specialize, very, very specialized. Okay. And if you get good at one thing and do it well, you're going to get good at it, right? And it's amazing. And as long as there's a stock market, I believe there's going to be a SPY. And as long as we can keep trading in this world, we should be able to make money. So it's up to you, folks. If it's meant to be, it's up to me. So next screen on the board here is my beautiful face again. Oh, I say that with a wink, a side wink here. Yeah, let's see. Let's go to some questions here. All right, I'm gonna quickly scan through these. I know there's been a lot of comments here, hundreds of comments coming on here. Okay, when are we going to Las Vegas again? I believe we're going to Las Vegas in February. Um, okay. Okay, Santiago and the free seminar. Oh yeah, so in the free seminar on Tuesday, we're actually going to be talking about our OMG trade. We're going to give you the details on how to determine the OMG trade. So if you are in our trading room, you probably know that already. But if you're not in our trading room at all, then and by the way, you should join these things. Okay, I didn't promote it this week, but it's there. You should if you are interested in any of our services, whether it's the day trades by signal, whether it's the inner circle, whether it's the pick of the day, or the trading room, you're interested in any of those programs, all you have to do is email customer service, all one word, customer service at daytradespy.com and ask them what's your best price for the and then whatever the product is that you're looking for. Okay, and they will give you their best price, which is probably going to be better than what you're going to get online, and that's really very important. Okay, so I just want to do that. So right, that new training in June. Okay, if we can't be in the live event, can we access the training for life? So when you subscribe to that training, you will get a recording. So even if you can't make it live, you'll get the recordings, right? And that's all pretty good. So, uh, thanks for that, Phil. I look like y'all fell for the way the light is shining off the top of my head. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay. So it looks like the market's going to go up tomorrow. I've got news here that Trump delayed the June 1st European Union tariffs to July the 9th. allowing for negotiations. This is what he does. It's all in the art of the deal, the book he wrote a long time ago, right? He comes on strong, brings everybody to the table, they talk it out, and everybody kind of walks away you getting something. Not surprised at all. Now I'm going to tell you something. If the stock spikes up overnight, goes up 10 points, you might want to look for some puts because chances are there's going to be a lot of profit taking and a retracement coming back down. Think of it as a dog on a leash, those big long 20-foot leashes, 25-foot leashes. It only goes so far and then it kind of comes back, right? And the market doesn't always go in straight lines. It'll spike up, but there's going to be profit taking. It's going to come back down, find some level of support, then it'll probably continue longer term. So, anyway, something to kind of watch out for. Well, that's good to know that. That is good to know that. Okay, if it's meant, where did I go here? Okay, let me get back to some of these other questions. I'm kind of scrolling down here real quick. Scroll. Okay, okay. All right. Am I muted? No, I'm not muted. Let's see. Do you want to hold overnight? What do you think the risk would be? Great if the option exercise is on the wrong side of the market direction next day. I don't like to hold anything overnight. There's too much craziness in the market. I'd like to be in and out the same day, preferably in a few minutes. All right. And how do you pay off the loan? Ed's asking. Well, you pay off the loan. All right. And I think if I recall, when you first um, registered with your broker, you had a whole lot of contracts that you had to tick off that you agreed to. Um, and if you lose your house, you lose your house. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to pay off the loan. So yeah, they don't negotiate the loan when they give you that. We refer in reference to the margin call or whatever, and buying on margin. We're not talking about we're talking about here. As they automatically margin you, and that's a loan. So it's like you're pre-approved for this loan that you promise that you're going to pay should you need to. So you got to be really careful about options. It's a tough thing, all right? All right. How did the 5K challenge go in the red? It could. It could have gone in the red, and it did. But we bailed out of that. How will you account for all the questions? All right. Sometimes I ask questions that don't get answered. We can't answer them all, but what we're going to do is we are going to endeavor in the training course to answer all the questions, probably package them in such a way that if there's any questions, maybe group them together. So we'll figure that out. A lot too depends on the question. If the question is relevant to what we're talking about, then if we're in a you know Daniel, if we're in a options 101 class and you ask a question about the bread and butter strategy, we're probably not gonna get into that too deep. You know what I'm saying? All right, we don't do any spreads, Tanner. No spreads, no debit spreads, no credit spreads. Um, Straight calls and puts. Okay, and yeah. Need somebody to monitor the questions. So I think what's going to happen is both John and I are going to be doing the training sessions so that one person can monitor the questions while the other one does the training. So all right, Larry, where I'm a beginner, what would you advise me to learn while I'm waiting for your learning course to begin? Okay, so we're going to start the course June the 3rd. All right. So next week, I believe. Is that next week? What's today? Today's the 26th. It'll be next week. We are going to be starting the course. So here's what I recommend. I highly recommend this. All right. And I know what you're going to think. You're all self-serving, but it's not. This is to serve you. Get with the course. We start the course June 3rd every Tuesday for the next 3 months. All right. Then get into the trading room because that's where you're going to really learn stuff on a real hands-on, in a real hands-on program, real hands-on system, and you're going to learn a lot in there. Now, do not trade real money while you're taking the course. We'll tell you when you can start trading some real money how to do it. Okay. But pick up as much as you can. You may not understand everything as a beginner in the trading room, but you're going to learn a lot of stuff in the trading rooms. So that's going to augment the training course. And the training course, of course, is going to supplement the trading room, right? So they're going to work hand in hand, and that's how you're going to really learn. Hands-on, do it training. So that's kind of what it's all about.
All right. Any way to post a Tuesday evening webinar to this chat? Can't find the chat. Okay, let me see if I can do that. That's a good question here. So if I go back into the chat and post that link onto, that's if you can copy the link, that would be great. Okay, let me try and copy this. Wow, okay, I'm not sure I can do that. Okay, I can't do the questions, but you got to find the chat. James, sorry, you got to find the chat. There's a check on your dashboard, in your Zoom dashboard. There should be a, a chat function there. And you might have to go to the more or one of those other links where it will activate your chat um, function. And then click on the chat, and it is in the chat. Now, if you do miss it, trust me, they're sending out a lot of emails inviting people to the Tuesday night webinar. If you still don't have the link, email me at Hughg at daytradespy.com. Okay. Hughg at daytradespy.com. And I will get you the link, or email customer service at DayTradeSpy, and they will get you the link to the again the GoToWebinar. And this is the one and only time we're going to use GoToWebinar. Okay, I promise you that. All right, I also promise that you're going to and again, there's the news there that you're going to what's it called? Going to finish at 9 o'clock, and I lied to you. I'm already over 9:07. All right, so folks, grab that link in the chat box. All right, grab the link in the chat box, and we're going to leave you with this. It's been a pleasure, folks. See you Tuesday. Have a good night, folks.
You're the one, shine brighter than the moon and the sun. Be great at what you do, give it all of you, and trust the process and keep your eyes on the prize. I can tell you what